All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA, and thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So, what I want to ask a question is, did the pandemic expose your weaknesses? Because I think, for the most part, it exposed a lot of mine. And, when it came to certain things regarding the pandemic, especially when COVID kind of first hit and they made us lock down and kind of change up our lifestyle for a certain amount of time, which was very short because I lived in Florida. But I stopped working for who I worked for and I started living an entirely different lifestyle, which I was kind of ready for, to be honest with you. I was really tired of traveling for so long. And I said, now it's going to give me an opportunity to get a lot of things done that I wanted to get done, which at the beginning I did do. I got a lot of things done. But as time went on, I realized that just because I was getting a lot of things done that I wanted to do, doesn't mean that they were really good. I think sometimes we think if I ever had the right amount of time, I can put a certain amount of effort and it's going to come out amazing. Or I'm going to get results that I never got before because I've always been too busy. I've always kind of spread myself too thin. But I realized through the COVID, especially the last 2 years, that, I had a lot of time to experiment with a lot of different things. And I thought I knew a lot more than I did. And I also thought I would be a lot more prosperous in certain areas because I had even more time than I had before. And I can also make more connections and connect with people. I can also maybe have more time to market that I didn't have. All these different types of things. And I did do those things. But the truth was, a lot of them didn't succeed at the level that I thought they would. And what was interesting is in the back of our heads, I think a lot of times too, we're kind of like, oh man, if I just had, again, the right team to put together, or if I had the right, for instance, it could be even health and wellness, because I was always, for the most part, working out a lot while I was traveling. And it was very, grueling at times because you're catching all these flights, you're driving all these places. By the time you get to the gym, a lot of times you're exhausted. And you thought you might get better results if you didn't have to travel or always feel tired. But again, with fitness, which I really kind of went hardcore fitness because I finally had the time to do what I wanted to do in the gym without ever being rushed. A lot of times when traveling, I was always rushing in sometimes and having to rush out. Or I had too much time in the gym sometimes while traveling because I had to do certain things where I had to wait. But again, I thought I would get different types of results regarding my fitness because I would also have the opportunity to try different things. And it, again, didn't necessarily work out the way I thought. The good news was regarding all of this was I really took advantage of experimenting and trying a lot of different types of things. But it did expose some things that I could build upon, but it also exposed a lot of things that also made me lazier regarding a lot of things. Because I think sometimes when you're doing things, and I think I could speak for a lot of people out there, you're just kind of going off momentum. Where then when kind of the pandemic hit, it kind of put the brakes on a lot of things, which I liked. The problem is sometimes putting the brakes on too much kind of slowed me down too much maybe. And I'm trying to figure out a balance myself. But yeah, and it's also, I will say this, I don't want to get long-winded. Having time, not working for someone else or not having to travel and kind of having a lot of time for yourself gave me a lot of time to really, think about things I've done in my past, what I'm currently doing, and what I want to do in the future. And having that time to think almost made me a little crazy because I was always thinking, I guess you could say. Now, I know that we're always thinking, but a lot of times when I was traveling or working for someone else and doing what I wanted to do, I was always really busy. And my mind was always racing, and I was always creating and creating and creating, or working and working and working, where now I could just really just sit back and think about a lot of things. And what became interesting is a lot of things that I was thinking about, kind of thinking clearly on a lot of mistakes that I've made. And also a lot of things that I've done well. But also really saying, is what I'm doing worth my time? And have I really done my best regarding certain things? And also, what am I going to be working on in the future? Because I think I was the type of person who would just bounce from one thing to the other. And it was, again, just momentum driven. And I didn't, I didn't care really a lot of times about the results. I was more caught up in what I was doing and what I wanted to accomplish. But now having time to think about a lot of things and do different things, it's harder because I'm realizing, when you're very, very independent and all you can count on is yourself doing a lot of certain things. And that doesn't mean I don't have other people helping me or, webmasters or marketing people and all that. But it was just an interesting take to kind of say what is going to keep me moving forward. And it's not just about money. What is going to keep me interested in whatever, my next endeavor is? Because after doing so much, I kind of found myself during the pandemic saying, I've really honestly done a majority of what I wanted to do throughout my life. And I'm 50, going on 53 years old, but I traveled to almost every place I want to go to. Maybe I'll go to Paris or maybe London, but it's not like something that's on my bucket list. But for the most part, I did a lot of things as far as going places and visiting and trying different endeavors that I wanted to do. I didn't necessarily succeed at the level. And I think that's the next phase, is trying to do something at a much higher level than maybe I've ever done before. And maybe you're somebody out there like that too. But I've seen the pandemic actually paralyze a lot of people, where now they live in a lot of fear. They're scared. I've seen it destroy a lot of people financially. I've also seen a lot of people become much more successful during the pandemic as well, depending what industry they're in. So I think it's touched all different types of people in all different ways. I also think it started a lot of confrontation amongst a lot of people, family members and friends, especially regarding, the vaccines and even political type things. But I just wanted to do a podcast on this because, I just sometimes think, I was going to actually do a podcast on, not being afraid of your flaws. And I think kind of, at least me during the pandemic, I just seen a lot of my flaws more than maybe before, because I can concentrate and truly see what's going on much clearer than I've ever before, because I was always kind of just busy. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up there. This was kind of more of a personal thing. Not even sure if I'm going to post it, but if I do, if you want to reach out to me at any time, I'm rich@richcelenza.com. My website's richcelenza.com as well, and I like to try to help people as much as I can build confidence or help them with their identity when it comes to many different things: health, wellness, fitness, fashion, and things in that nature. And that's really about it. Got any questions or comments? Hit me up.